So I heard this genius quote the other day. It said, it was from some Marvel movie that I watched, and sometimes in certain movies there'll be little tidbits of information. It said that if you aim at nothing, you will get nothing. And it made me think, because there's a lot of times where I can see directly in my life that I went from a 9-to-5 job to being a full-time YouTuber, that I went from being an average, mediocre salesperson at my last job to being someone that was making more money and more consistently a top salesperson. There are different shifts that happened where it completely changed where I was at, and a lot of it had to do with the vision that I had. Where I was in the movie, this Marvel movie, it was some master archer was saying that to this one of the characters in the movie who was learning how to do archery or bow and arrow stuff. And I remember thinking about that and thinking about how not only is it important to have an aim, have a target, it is also important to have the courage to pick up the bow to begin with and to bend it back and then to release it. You have to have the courage to do that. And there's certain things that in my life I can see that one, I had a vision, but on the second side of it, there are certain things that activated a level of courage inside of myself that changed everything. And in this video, I want to share with you those 5 different ways that you can activate courage inside of you, plus show you an activation that I did, a meditation activation that I did. I think this is one of the most powerful ones I've ever done, and it was because I myself was coming out of my own expansive experience when I did it. So just recently, actually, and you've probably heard in the videos a lot me talk about this, so I know it sounds kind of like a broken record, but I feel like for the longest time I've been on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for like 3 years making videos. And even though this is how I've created my business, this is how I've created my brand, this is how I've created freedom in my life, at the same time, I realize that I've kind of plateaued in a way. I'll still be making YouTube videos, but I need to change either the format or the way that I do them, because just talking at the camera like I've been doing is getting a little bit redundant. I can only say something so many different ways over 2,000 videos. So sometimes the videos may sound repetitive. Well, that's why I've been making such consistent content. But on the other side of this, I know and can feel inside my heart, I am meant to be doing more live events at this point. I've had the training wheels on for long enough. And in a way, I think YouTube was a form of training wheel for me. It got me used to being in front of people, to talking. I've been doing a lot of virtual live events. I did this 21-day magnetic love challenge 2 months ago. For 21 days in a row, I went live every single day for at least an hour. If you were in it, it was a lot of energy, a lot of transformation. It was so cool to see. But I got used to go, and that was another reason I was doing that. It was to wire in my own identity that I go live. Now, not just virtual live though. The intention is to go live in person. And I have been procrastinating for so damn long. I mean, you've probably heard me talk about this for 6 months to a year if you've been watching my content consistently. I've been talking about this for probably 2 years. Why have I been stagnating with it? Because there's some level of blockage or fear. I've been lacking the courage for me to step into this new space in my life. And the universe has been giving me signs that I could step into it, but for some reason, it's been something that I haven't actually made the plunge into. And I'm like, why not? But I could tell there's a block there. There's a familiar thing I have where I could just put myself on YouTube in a video where I'm making now that then goes out later. But I'm realizing that that's not necessarily what's going to help me grow to this next level. I can feel it. Now, what happened is something very interesting the other day. The other day, I was sitting down on this couch right here. On that TV right there, I was watching Game of Thrones. Some of you may know from my social, if you follow me on Instagram. I've been watching Game of Thrones. I know I'm 3 years late on this. I felt a month or 2 ago, I was kind of just in bed or sick. Well, not able to really do much. And what I did is I just started binging Game of Thrones. It's now's the time. The reason I never started it is because I knew that once I started it, I was gonna have to finish it. I knew I was gonna get hooked. And it took 2 seasons. There's so many damn storylines, but I did get hooked. Now I'm hooked. And my friend Owen, who owns this big live events company, called RSD. He was running a live event here in Austin. I live in Austin. And he texted me. And he said, hey, bro, I'm in Austin. And then he's like, hey, man, they were running a 4-day live event. He texted me on Saturday. It was the 3rd day of his 4-day live event, so it's Saturday and Sunday were the last 2 days. He texted me, I'm sitting right there. And it's 8 at night. And he's like, hey, man, feel free to pop by if you want. And pretty much by pop by, he also means like you could jump on stage and speak with us. There's like over 100 people here. So at that point I had an opportunity, but then something interesting happened. I realized, I don't know if it was a block or if it was even my own justification, but before that I got done with a week-long launch that my buddy Victor and I were doing for Full-Time Purpose, where we show people how to go full-time doing what they love. I went live for like 25 hours, so I was kind of tired. So I'm sitting there and I'm also watching Game of Thrones. So I'm like, I kind of want to finish Game of Thrones. I'll go see him tomorrow maybe. So I said, how about tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, we should be good for tomorrow too. And I was like, okay, I'll just do it tomorrow and I'll be able to watch Game of Thrones now, relax, and like recoup my energy. Maybe that was partially true, but I think a part of me was saying that to spiritual bypass. There was this feeling inside of me that was almost excitement, a little bit of anxiety, but I could get up right now, change in 5 minutes, and to find out the event, because I live in downtown Austin, is like 2 miles away from my house. I was like, I could go right now and I could do this live event, but I was like, you know what? It's more comfortable for me just to watch that Game of Thrones and just chill on my couch. Now, the next day, he texts me and he's like, we went so late last night. Today, I'm only going to go out for like an hour and we're just closing out the 4-day event. So why don't you come some other time so that you can come on stage and speak? So just so you know, when you come here, it'll be just me doing my thing. And it was like his nice way of telling me, hey, we're gonna be, finishing up the event. There's a certain curriculum that we use, so you probably won't be able to speak. And in that moment when he sent me that text message, I was watching that movie where I got that fancy quote that if you aim at nothing, you hit nothing. Some Shung Li movie or something like that. I went with my friend and his kids. And then I realized in that moment that I want to go. Like, I want to speak. Like, I was let down. I could feel by when he asked me initially, I was excited but a little bit anxious. And then when I found out I wasn't speaking, I was actually looking forward to it. What did that tell me? That told me synchronistically, like, this is what you're meant to be doing. So then we go to that, we finished the movie. After he sent me that voice, he's like, why don't we just hang out during the week? Just chill. We'll go, like today we're going to IV. We're going to go get some IVs and stuff here in Austin. And he'll be, because he's here for like 5 days. And we're like, we'll just hang out. And I was like, man, I really wanted to go and just even see how he runs his live events. It'd be cool for me to see the behind the scenes, because I think one thing that holds me back from really stepping into this next stage is like not knowing. Like, I don't know, who do I need to hire? Like, I need an AV guy, which means like a guy that's like doing the tech stuff, the camera angles, the lighting, like all of this stuff, but I don't know the exact process. And I've been telling myself that story, so I've been remaining stuck. So instead what I did is I was with friends, we were watching that movie. After that, we went to dinner. We had dinner reservations at this epic place with a view. We went there, we had dinner, and then after that, I'm at their house, we're chilling for a little bit. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna go home. I'm gonna chill with Owen in a couple days. But then you know what? I said, screw it. I got in my car and I put in my navigation back to my house. And then instead of going to my house, what I did is I started going towards my house. I said, you know what, screw it. What do I have to lose by going to this event? Like, even if I just go chill and I don't speak, but I at least get to see things, there's probably something I can learn. I'm gonna step into the unknown. I was kind of tired from the day and stuff and coming off this big launch, but I'm gonna go anyways. So I go to this event. He gave me the address or whatever, like the day before. And then what I do is I go in, it's like the perfect time. Everyone's on break, there's like people walking around. I go in, I recognize some of his people on his team because I've known him for 2 or 3 years now. Connect with them. The guy that like works tech there is like, I'm like looking at like, he's got all these monitors set up, he's got the sound system set up, he's got the lighting set up, they've got like these projectors set up. I'm like, damn dude, you guys got a really cool setup here. And I'm like, I'm kind of looking because I'm getting ideas for like how I'm gonna do mine and kind of see what you guys do. He's like, yeah, man, anything you want to know about all this, like, let me know. I'll tell you give you the runaround on it. I'm like, wow. And then I saw a couple other people that I knew from his team. And then him and this other guy, Julian, walked in. They're like coaches for his brand. And I said what up to them and we connected. And then he went up and did his hour-long talk. And it was cool to see him in action. He's a very good public speaker and very good at what he does. And then after that, I didn't realize this, but I had, out of the 100 people there, probably 20 people were like subscribers of my stuff too. So I had all these people coming up to me that wanted to talk, that wanted to say hi. I didn't expect that many people to like know who I am and to like watch the content. But almost every single person that came up to me was like, why aren't you doing your own live events? Why aren't you doing it? And I'm like, after like the 5th person that said that, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to do it. And when I was there at this event, I'm watching Owen speak on stage, and the whole freaking time I'm like excited with energy. I realized like that's what I'm meant to be doing. I could easily, there's like 100-something people here, I could easily be at the front doing my own thing. And even impromptu, like I could just go up, I just know it, I could feel it. So I got a lot of reflection that day. And the main message today, and I know it's like 10 minutes into this, and now I'm getting to the first one, and we'll bust through the last 4 quicker, but it's just a freaking start. There's never gonna be the right time. There's never gonna be the perfect circumstance. I'm literally like, the universe is like shoving these things into my face, and I'm like, oh, Game of Thrones, I'm just gonna watch Game of Thrones, what's gonna happen to Arya? My sister looks exactly like Arya, or vice versa, whatever, and it's crazy. But there's like certain things that it's like, I'm just hooked into the show. It's like super interesting to me, and I'm using that to spiritual bypass my own purpose and courage. So my question to you is, have you ever done that? Have you ever had like something that maybe you felt called to do, that you know you should do, but you somehow rationalized it into staying in the safety? So for this, just start. Even that week of full-time purpose coaching where my buddy Victor and I were going live every day, the biggest thing that holds people back is like, I need the perfect camera equipment. I need the best this. I need to have and learn one more idea. I need to get certified in this coaching program. No, you don't. You just got to start. That's it. I don't have no coaching certification. I'm not like, I didn't get like some fucking doctorate degree or anything. I even left college because like, this isn't my thing. I just knew that I had a vision. I had something to aim at. And if you aim at nothing, you get nothing. I aimed at this, and then I started. I followed that up. I was being that version of me. So just freaking start. Have the courage to start. Realize that starting is where the blocks come up. The blocks are always going to be waiting for you. Even when I was driving to that event that I knew I probably won't speak at, there was like, I'm going to learn things, but like, it's just the unknown. It's getting late at night. I didn't go to bed till like 2 in the morning that day, and that's pretty late for me. So I was like, but I wasn't going to keep having excuses. And same for you. You could realize you just start, that starts the process. Now, the second thing that has to do with courage is realizing that when you step into your courage and you're following your passion, the universe rewards that. Think of it as like God, the universe, consciousness flowing through you. But when I showed up to that event and I said hi to Julian, who's a friend, he was like, man, you got a lot of energy. And he noticed how much energy I had. And I was like, yeah, I thought about it for a second. I was like, I do have a lot of energy. I had energy that whole day. The whole time I was there. And why? Because I was feeling like, one, I felt like there's a chance that possibly Owen wants, like, will say something and he'll want me to come up or something like that. There was a little chance. So I was like excited about that, which showed me and reflected back to me, you're meant to be doing this shit, bro. But secondly, I was just that's my purpose and calling, and there's energy that was flowing through. So trusting that as you find your purpose, as you find your passion, the energy just flows through. It's a well-known thing that like when I start these videos, it's not scripted. I'm not looking at the back like, okay guys, so the next thing, and for a second I looked at my little iPad thing over there, but it's the first video I ever did, I did have a script. I had this like in front of a window, and I had on the window a taped piece of paper that had the whole thing written out. And I was like, just like that. It's even the noise I made in the video. I was like, But then I was just looking, and then I was like, eventually after the second or third video, I started getting into a flow state, and then this information just comes through. Same for you. It's a well-known thing that in live events, if you're ever running a live event or speaking, I've had it where I'm speaking, and I just get these freaking ideas. They don't know the hell, it's not me. Some of the ideas just come through. Someone will ask a question, and I'll just have this like one memory pop in my mind of like, share this. It's not necessarily me. It's channeling. We're all divine spiritual beings having temporary human experiences. So knowing that you just have to have courage to step into the flow state is then having the trust that all this shit's gonna flow through anyways. And the sign of how you feel. And sometimes it will be anxiety because it's the new. You only get more of what you've known. In the known, you only create more of what you got. If you want to create something new, you got to get outside of your own comfort zone. And your life will expand to the degree to which you expand. So I can keep making YouTube videos, keep having these courses and all this stuff, but it's all very comfortable. So one of the keys here and one of the keys to realize is that for the next level for me, I have to get a little bit uncomfortable. I have to expand my sense of self. That will change everything. So see, now I'm looking at my iPad just for a second, but then I look back like that, and then I look at it again, just like that. So the fearing and anxiety is the third thing I want to talk to you about, and knowing that that is a good thing. It is a good thing. When I was sitting on the couch watching Game of Thrones and I felt a little bit of anxiety and fear, It was a good thing because those blocks are coming up naturally to show you what your comfort zone is. It's showing you what your sense of identity is. When you have a certain identity, you will remain consistent and do anything you can to remain consistent to that identity. If you say that I'm only meant to be like this type, when I was expanding my identity to be a YouTuber back in the day, I then had to become somebody that didn't care what other people thought of me, that would put out my content and ideas, and could see maybe there'd be a negative comment or something. You see what I mean? Like I had to become okay with that, and I had to expand my identity. And at first, it was scary, and it showed me, hey, you give a shit what people think. Hey, this is a new territory for you. But the way that you step into this and the courage is simply about making the choice for the new. Knowing that the fear and anxiety are there as a safety mechanism to keep you the same, to keep you in the boring reality, whatever reality you're in. Maybe it's not boring, maybe it's dramatic. It's exciting and dramatic, but maybe it's not actually ideal for your energy, you see? So realize that stepping into the fear and stepping into the anxiety, there's never gonna be a time it's really not there. Like, people could say, oh, I'll make YouTube videos once all my fear and anxiety is eradicated. I'm gonna do live events once I'm not fearful at all. Well, guess what? I'll just be waiting and waiting and waiting until I'm out of the frame like this, but then I come back and I realize, wait, why am I still waiting? Because it's always gonna be there, and then when you step into it, you then realize there's nothing to be fearful of. Even when I went to that live event, I'm like, oh, there's nothing to be fearful of. And it was way easier for me. Now, the next thing is realizing you can do it. You can do it. That's it. If you don't believe you can do something, you won't take action to actually do it. When I started having my own sense of confidence in myself, that's when the identity shift began to happen. Even when I was up there and I was listening to Owen speak, I was like, I could be doing that. There was like an identity shift that was happening. I was like, I want to be up there. I know I'm meant to be up there, and I know I can do it. Anything that's created a great degree of change in my life has come from an identity shift, where I realize who I think I am. And normally they're just like little stories I tell myself. I am the 9-to-5 job goer that gets paid this much commission to sell stuff, and I have to show up on time and all this stuff. And I want to be this, but I'm not that yet. And the story is that I'm over here. And then eventually you start to see people that are already doing what you're doing. I saw Owen and them doing what they do, and I realized I could be doing the same thing. You start literally get into the energy field of these people. If you want to be an artist, get around other artists. And realize you are an artist already. Take on the identity, but make the shift in identity. I started studying other YouTubers. What are they doing? Went back in 2017. Some of them, the ones that are doing really well, are making daily videos. What if I made daily videos? What if I studied marketing? What if I learned this? What if I learned that? I started to learn these things that these other people had mastered, and as I did, I got similar results. Model success and become that identity. You can decide at any moment who you are, and knowing that changes everything. Now, another thing that happened that I thought was cool is I got signs too as to how I could run these live events, because as I was at the end talking to all these different people that recognized me from the videos and stuff, quite a few of them, more than I thought. I'm talking to somebody and they're telling me about how they found my videos, or we're talking about whatever. I'm asking them how they like the event, are they from Austin, all that stuff. Somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey Aaron, I just want you to know I was a part of your 21-day magnetic love challenge. It changed my life. And I just want to say thank you and blah, blah, blah. And it's so excited. When are you going to be doing live events? And then I was talking to them, and then a couple minutes later, he goes off and does his thing. And then somebody else comes up and goes, hey Aaron, I just want you to let you know I did the 21-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge, and it completely changed my life, and blah, blah, blah. And I was a part of that. And I just want to say thank you. And this guy over here is like, man, I got to do one of these challenges. That's like the second or third person that's come over talking about the challenges. And then I realized maybe I could do somehow certain like different versions of those challenges or something live or something like that. But you will get synchronicity. And if you haven't, by the way, checked out the 21-day magnetic love challenge for removing love blocks and healing your attachment pattern, that's where I go live 21 days in a row. And all the recordings are there and all the bonuses. Click the link below you see in the description box, or the 21-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge is there too. And that's 21 days to a higher vibrational you, letting go of your stories about money, love, and really transforming yourself from the inside out to raise your base point vibration permanently. So that's there as well. So these are all different things and different ways of raising your vibration, but I thought maybe I could somehow compact that into a 3-day, 2-day event one day. So that's kind of the idea, and you get reflections based on these different things. So that is another way for you to step into the courage. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the courage that a lot of people don't talk about. It's the courage to say no. Now, if you're watching this video and you were this person at this event, no, I got nothing but love for you, but it taught me a very powerful lesson. There was a gentleman that came up to me that I was around like 3 or 5 other people that I was talking to, saying hi to, that knew me from the videos or whatever, and someone else comes up to me and is like, Aaron, are you Aaron Doughty? Blah, 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 blah. And he was like super excited. And then at a certain point, he goes, hey, what's your phone number? Let's hang out. I want to like tell you my story and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying this to be mean, and I love like meeting people that, you know, I'm not trying to separate myself from you guys and think I'm a dick or something like that, but not to be cocky or egotistical, but especially from living in Sedona or living in Austin, I do get recognized quite often. People will come up to me, they say they like the videos, they like whatever, and I think that's cool. But to be honest, I'm not like sucking it up like I'm finally worthy, somebody else recognized me. But at the same time, one thing I've had to learn is I've had to have the courage to say no. But sometimes I challenge with it, to be honest with you. Somebody came up to me, this gentleman, and he's like, oh, I'm from here, and let's hang out. Like, and I'm like, oh, I appreciate it. You know, like I'll eventually be doing live events and stuff, but I don't get people's phone numbers and stuff like that. I'm just too busy. You know, he's like, no, man, I'm not a weird subscriber. I swear. I just want to, like, I'm not a weird fan or anything. I just want to, like, hang out and tell you my story and show you around Dallas if you ever come to Dallas, all this stuff. And I'm like, cool. And then, like, somehow, I forget exactly what happened, but he, like, got my phone and like, got his profile on my phone. I don't know if he followed himself on my profile. I don't know. It was just a weird thing. But then it kind of then he got, like, 5 other people looking that also think maybe that's just normal. You know, it was, in a way, it was wiring in something that I wasn't okay with because I was afraid. I didn't have the courage to say no. And one thing that I'm having to learn now before I go into these live events is like there needs to be a boundary as well, because some people, I think what happens is they watch, many of you may watch a lot of your videos, you may feel like you know me, which I think is really cool. And I look forward to at live events getting to know many of you and stuff. But the thing is sometimes people assume that, I don't know, I have all this time in the world. You know, especially in Sedona, I would meet sometimes 5, people at Whole Foods that like recognize me from my videos. And from that, if I said yes to every single person that was like, hey, want to hang out? What's your phone number? I'd have like no, it's like people that expect me in my DMs to respond to every DM I get. I'm not trying to be cocky by saying this shit, but in my own bubble, like I can only do so many different things. And my challenge in life is spending more time and talking and connecting to my family members. Hanging out with my the friends that like I do business with and stuff like that. Like it's hard for me to allow and to let in new energy, and I just don't have time. So, but because I couldn't say, so it's having courage to say no is the message of this, and I'm still learning that. And it's a good thing it happened now at not my events, because when I am at my actual live events, I'm going to have boundaries to where it's not like I'm passing around, my phone and have thousands of people on my phone. Like it's, of course that's ridiculous, but that's kind of the idea, is having the courage to say no. And I felt like I don't want to be a dick. This person likes my videos and this person and all this, but at the same time, there's a difference between being a dick and being assertive and being like centered in your own frame. So now I know that it's like, oh no, I'm very busy and I don't have time to give you my phone number, to text you and to hear your life story or whatever. But at a live event that I have in 3 weeks or whatever I have it, you can come and you're going to meet other people. We're going to be hanging out and stuff, and it'll be a different type of container. You guys see what I mean here? So the courage to say no, even when I was like growing my YouTube channel, I had to have the courage to say no to people and friends that wanted me to hang out, because I had to say yes to making daily videos. I didn't have time to go hang out and just chill and smoke hookah or whatever. So it's like saying no means you're saying yes to something else. And by me saying no and having that container, that boundary, I then was not allowed. What is the alternative? I say yes to something I don't want to do. Then I have someone texted me, and I have other people I'm not texting back. Like it takes me sometimes 2 or 3 days just to get back to my friends, like people that I've been friends with for like years, or family members. So it's like I would then feel resentful because I'm like, I should have said no originally. Do you see what I mean? So have the courage to say no. Realize that when you're in your purpose and your passion, this energy is just going to flow through. Understand that a big part of this is your own identity. How do you view yourself? And then realize you can change your identity by having the courage to step into the new. to step into the unknown, which may seem scary, may bring some anxiety, but that's just there to keep you safe in your sense of self. But now it's about expanding the self. So have the courage and understand that as you activate that, it changes everything. Now, there is something that I have below. It is the courage activation that I did, where I share more in detail kind of everything I'm sharing for the stories, techniques, and ways you can go about this. And as well as a way of activating, we do a group Om activation for activating the energy of courage. You can see that by clicking the link below. Check that out. It's a whole hour-long workshop that we did, plus that live activation with people all over the world doing it. And activate the energy of courage inside of yourself, knowing you're already good enough. You can already start. And one of the main keys of this whole video is to just freaking start. The blocks may be there. The blocks are showing you something. And it's a good thing that they're there, because then you can go through them and redefine yourself in your new sense of self. So with that being said, if you guys like this video, you guys want to hear more personal stories from my life and things like this, click the link below. If you guys want me to start doing live events, by the way, let's see a roll call for who showed up to the live events. Like this video and comment below, I'm in. I can't wait for the live events or something like that, so I know. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and as always, peace, much love, and namaste.